Hey everybody. So last night the Pittsburgh Penguins absolutely throttled the Philadelphia Flyers 7 to nothing, and surprise surprise, goaltending is already a major problem for the Flyers. Brian Elliott was awful last night. Gave up 5 goals on 19 shots. They weren't all his fault. Some of them were deflections, but he did not look comfortable at all. He could not make a big save when needed, and he didn't even make it the whole game. He got pulled in favor of Peter Mrazek after the fifth goal. Um, it seems like goaltending has been an issue for the Flyers for the last 20 years. They can never seem to find a franchise goalie, and the problem still persists. Elliott is not does not look like a guy who is going to beat the Penguins or take the Flyers anywhere in these playoffs. Mrazek was okay once he came in. He did give up 2 goals, but neither one of them were really his fault. Pittsburgh had also taken their foot off the gas a little bit by the time that Mrazek got in the game, because it was already 5-0 and the game was pretty much over. There's been a lot of talk about how Dave Hackstall has a decision to make now about who to start in Game 2. I don't think there's much of a decision at all. You cannot start Elliott again after what happened in Game 1. I would be extremely surprised if Brian Elliott starts Game 2, and if I were the coach, there would be no chance of him starting Game 2. Elliott was bad in the playoffs last year for Calgary, and Calgary got swept out by Anaheim in the first round, and he was awful in Game 1. So he has not been good recently in the playoffs. He missed a ton of time at the end of the year because of injury, and then came back for 2 games, and then he looked okay in those 2 games. His first game back wasn't great. His second game back, he shut out the Rangers, but it's the Rangers who were playing an AHL lineup by that point in the season. And then he comes into Game 1 of the playoffs and looks absolutely terrible. We call goalies Swiss cheese sometimes. He was Swiss cheese last night. There's way too many pucks getting by him that shouldn't. And it's not all his fault. The Penguins absolutely took the play to the Flyers for the entire game. It wasn't even close. Philly in general got absolutely destroyed. They were not prepared to play that game. Pittsburgh was faster. Pittsburgh was more skilled. They controlled the puck a lot better. They didn't turn the puck over. Philly, the turnovers were horrendous. They couldn't get the puck out of their own end. They gave it away numerous times throughout the game. They would just handed it right back to Pittsburgh. They weren't nearly physical enough with the Penguins. They didn't do really anything to slow them down or stop them. It was overall a terrible game for the Flyers. One of the worst playoff performances I've seen from any team in recent memory. But as always with the Flyers, goaltending is a focal point again. I think you have to go with Mrazek at this point. At least give him the start in Game 2 and see if he can fare any better than what Elliott did. Because last night was downright embarrassing. It was a slaughter. And Philly will be out of these playoffs, swept out in 4 games if they don't put it together and start to have some pushback and get better goaltending. So for me, huge F for Brian Elliott in Game 1, and I don't give him another chance to fail again. I go with Peter Mrazek. If Mrazek is also terrible, then you're probably just done. It won't matter who you play, you're done. But so I just thought it was worth talking about. Philly goaltending once again, a major, major problem, and it never seems to go away. Somewhere along the line here, they're going to have to find a franchise goalie. They have some really talented players. They have some really talented young players. But goaltending is everything in the NHL. And if you don't have high-level goaltending, you're not going to go anywhere. You can make the playoffs, but you won't go anywhere in them. So hopefully the Flyers can get that figured out eventually, but this year does not seem to be any different than how the past 20 have been. Goaltending's a huge problem, and yeah, Elliott was bad. Mrazek was okay, but he wasn't playing high-stress minutes. I would give Mrazek the start in Game 2, see how he can fare. I would hope it's better than how Game 1 went. So, thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow on social media. Links are in the description. Check out the website, offthewallhockey.com. Links in the description. Thank you guys again for watching. Help spread the word about this channel. Help it grow. Almost to 50 subscribers. And talk to you guys soon.